To all who come, welcome. Disney is a time machine that takes us back, connects us together, and shows us that not even wishing upon a star ever gets old. Now come sit with your friends Jonelle, Sean, and Megan as we deep dive into the heart of Disney.
Hi, friends!
Welcome back to another episode of Friends of Disney. We're talking about Aladdin today. We're nearing the end of our Disney princess lineup.
And if you're wondering, where's Jonelle? Jonelle is working behind the scenes again this episode.
Yep, so you get just me and Megan today.
A married couple. Dun, 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 dun.
I'm gonna let you go first because I know you love this movie because I there's one fact about this movie that makes me angry.
I grew up watching this movie. Okay, so I have like two major memories I have with this movie, like I just said. The first one is, so a lot of the movie watching I did as a kid, I didn't actually do at my house. So
Was it at grandma's like the rest of us?
it's like grandma adjacent.
The cabin.
The cabin. So my grandmother was very wealthy and she owned like a separate lake house than like the one she lived in most of the time. And there was a VCR. And so whenever there was like a rainy day or it was cold or it was like nighttime and we didn't want to hang out with the adults, my cousins and my siblings and I would all pick out a movie to watch. And one of those happened to be Aladdin. And so I have a lot of memories with this movie, especially the ending where Genie turns into the moon and goes, ha ha ha, made you look.
That's I love that gag so
I
much.
hate it.
Why do you hate that gag?
You know, I think it just like always rubbed me the wrong way. Like, duh, I'm watching your movie. Like, I don't know, it just felt something that's like, you know, those jokes that just hit way too close to like being like ruthlessly teased, not in like a loving way, but in a like I'm making fun of you way. It just hit too close to that like border for me. So that, and then I had a CD player growing up. And for those of you who don't know, they're like holographic little things that are like this big, and you put them in a player, and then you pushed play, and they were all probably by the same artist, unless you made them like a mixtape.
It played music.
It played music. And my mom had one for Aladdin. And let me tell you, I found it while looking through, what are they called? Side tables. Side tables. They would be like on the side of like our couch growing up. And so one day I was looking through our side tables because I didn't realize, you know, when you're like in your house and then you realize there's like a drawer that you've never opened before. So, or you didn't realize it could open and then your parents opened it one day and you're like, second, that opens. So the next day when they're not home, you go look and see what they were hiding.
Yeah.
I found out my mom was hiding a bunch of candles and a bunch of CDs. And one of these CDs was Aladdin. And I have a very distinct memory. Like the first time I invited a specific friend over, I like to the song Arabian Nights. This is cringy, okay? The song Arabian Nights basically like lip synced the entire song and serenaded my friend. Oh, it was so cringy. I'm so sorry, Camilla. She's like, wow, you must really like this song. I'm like, well, there's only like 5 CDs I listened to. So yes, I really loved it. And it's the type of, I don't know, musical to get you amped up.
See, I really like this movie considering like it's only an hour and a half, but it like don't get me wrong, an hour and a half is still like a fair amount of time to like sit down and watch a movie. It goes by so fast though.
I know.
Like they have all the musical numbers in just the right perfect spots to like really help to drive the plot along.
The pacing is really good in this movie.
And opening with Arabian Nights is like, I love, that's probably my favorite song out of the entire soundtrack because the vibe just has this really cool like vibe to it with the drums and the ominous opening with the merchant riding the camel and everything. Just sets the mood in such a cool way because it's different than any other Disney opening, which like, I don't know, like they're always much more to the point with the other Disney openings, I feel like.
I agree with you. It's a really good hook for a movie. Like we talk about, at least in elementary school, what we talked about a lot when writing essays was you really needed like a good first paragraph to get your reader to read the rest. And so, yeah, this one has a good like hook.
It does. And like the instrumentation is great. Like again, it's just not typical because like Lion King came out, I think a couple years before this, or like within the year after it, right around the same time because it was all the 90s. And like Lion King is easy to get in your face because you just go like it's an easy hook for that. But here it's just like this like really like subtle.
I don't know. Hold on. Brain, researching. Speaking of good hooks, I remember as a kid, I struggled a lot watching movies.
Mhm.
I have ADHD. When I was little, and it was summer, which is when we watched these movies, I don't remember being on my ADHD meds because I didn't need them to like concentrate on schoolwork, which is like what
Yeah.
I use them to do. And so it was even harder for me to watch movies. So the fact that I had memories of me sitting down watching the movie from front to end is a huge thing.
Not to mention too, like the animation is so dynamic. Like you have the Cave of Wonders with all its various like sequences, like the treasure room, the like ending room with the lamp and the statue with the red jewel.
Mhm.
Then you also have like the little oasis area where the genie turns Aladdin into a prince. You have Agrabah, the city, the palace, like the palace courtyard,
Sorry.
the weird snowy area. Like it's so dynamic.
You know, I'm gonna make a lot of video game people mad. Our least favorite kingdom, or Sean and I play video games together. That's like our other big pastime. We hate desert levels.
Desert levels are evil.
They're some of the worst ones to play. They have okay music sometimes, but for the most part, it's just brown.
And if you've like played like Mario, like you know World 2 is always a desert kingdom.
I swear, there's one of my favorite Let's Players of all time. His name is Trevor Conroy. And I swear, this is like a thing he made where it's like every World 2 is a desert kingdom, and he goes through them. I can't find that clip though. However, this desert, because Agrabah is like in a desert, is actually one of the most like gorgeous deserts ever. And I don't remember the live action being as pretty.
We'll get more into like the live action next week's episode when we actually like compare the two. But this one, they just did such stellar work. And okay, can we talk about the palace having hidden compartments that for some reason Jafar is the one that only knows about?
Right?
Like, how does he have all these like different secret rooms and the Sultan knows nothing?
There's a term I've been using a lot recently. It's called fuddy-duddy. And the Sultan is such a fuddy-duddy. He, like...
I don't know how to describe the Sultan. He's like a gummy bear. He has the personality of a gummy bear, or like the Pillsbury Doughboy that just laughs when you tickle him.
It's true. Like, the Sultan is an awful ruler. He doesn't do much.
He's so true.
He builds like his like towers out of like an animal, like
Polly want a cracker.
Like parrots are very smart, and the fact that he like keeps shoving like crackers in Iago's gullet, I find deeply unnerving. Maybe it's because I have a fear of parrots now.
You don't like birds.
I like birds when they're outside my window, but I do not like them up close. But like, oh man, and then he just. We don't actually see him do anything ruling until like the very end where Jasmine's like, oh my god, I actually do like Aladdin. And then he's like, oh yeah, I'm like the ruler. I can like make my own rules.
Honestly, that part made me so angry because it's literally like, because
you could have done this entire time.
The whole movie takes place over 3 days. 3 days with Jasmine's plot being she's supposed to get married by this specific birthday. And we're like, really? You waited till like the last minute, basically?
This face is displeased.
Like, honestly, the Sultan is so incompetent.
No wonder Jafar is like, I could rule better, because he could.
And Raja could.
Raja the lion could. Okay. Actually,
he's a tiger. How dare you?
Actually, one of my favorite books growing up was like, there was like two, like do you remember like the 1, 2, 3 reader?
Yeah.
Where like, basically, how do I describe it? It was reading levels. And so it was the first reading level. and it was about how Jasmine got
Raja.
Raja, and it was so cute because according to this one book that I have not been able to see again, it was because Jasmine was lonely.
That makes sense.
And so the Sultan got her a tiger, and I was like, boy, a tiger?
Okay, but like the Sultan does not allow Jasmine to leave. Apparently, instead, get her a tiger to be a friend. Does not know how to actually rule Agrabah, considering he waited to fulfill this segment of the law that he ultimately ended up changing anyway until the last 3 days. I really want to know what Jasmine's younger teenage years of going through puberty were like, having to deal with the Sultan.
I want to know who married the Sultan. Like, what was the
True.
queen like? There's usually a mention of like the other parent. Jasmine does not mention her mom at all. No one mentions the queen. So she could be alive. She could have run away.
Hey, the Sultan could have asexually reproduced.
I feel bad for Jasmine then.
She's gonna have a beard. Okay, can I tell you about the one thing that irritates me about this movie now?
Yes, of course.
This is considered a Disney princess movie, and it's the only movie where the main character is the one no one cares about. The movie's called Aladdin. Aladdin is the main character. Jasmine gets the spotlight anywhere else because she's part of the Disney princess lineup.
You're right, because Aladdin, you know what it probably is? It's probably because his vest is too small.
To be fair, he's poor.
To be fair, he's poor. Like,
But like, you see my point? He's the only Disney prince that actually gets his own movie
yes.
and is the only Disney prince to be the main character, but he's not allowed to be the main character anywhere else because it does not exist anywhere else. Every other Disney princess movie, the Disney princess is the main character.
I have so many thoughts on the character of Aladdin. My sister had a huge crush on him, I'm pretty sure, growing up.
It took me a while to understand what this phrase, diamond in the rough, means. Because it's such an odd...
It's just like 1 out of a million, right?
But the thing is, it's like, in regards to what? It's too vague. It's like, when we say 1 in a million, it's like that thrift find we had the other day, where it's like, this is a 1 in a million chance of getting like a perfectly composed game at a thrift store.
Yes.
Okay, Aladdin is supposed to be that diamond in the rough 1 in a million. In regards to what? Moral character? Just being a good guy? Is he good at poker? Like, what exactly is he a 1 in a million? He's a great thief, apparently.
I mean, yeah, but like the Cave of Wonders, you know what? You know what probably happened? Well, okay. I have 2 trains of thought. So let's go with the funny one first. I'm imagining, so the Cave of Wonders is this giant tiger head, right?
Yeah.
I'm imagining the Cave of Wonders is just like, I'm so sick of people trying to get treasure from me. I'm going to say that only one person can enter this diamond in the rough. And I'm going to pick one person every century that can come in so that way people will stop disrupting my goddamn naps.
Did you ever realize that Jafar kept his promise? Because like at the beginning of the movie, he told the Sultan, like, oh yeah, I'll find Jasmine's suitor. I just need your ring as like a price or whatever. His motive was to find his little diamond in the rough. But by doing so, he found Jasmine's suitor. He actually kept his promise, which I think is funny. He's a Disney villain with standards. He kept his promise.
And the eyeliner, though.
Honestly, he could give Once Upon a Time's Captain Hook a run for the nickname Captain Guyliner.
Okay, now let's go serious.
Okay, are you going to talk about how creepy Jafar is?
No, not that serious. Okay, I'm going to talk about the origins of Aladdin.
Yeah, it's from like the Aladdin and Arabian Nights stories.
So, I have never read it. It's one of like I love collecting like fairy tales from around the world. It's one of those stories where there is an A plot, and then one of the characters in the A plot tells a story, and to like keep the story going. Does that make sense? So it's like people traveling up a mountain, and then no, I believe this one is like, I can't remember what like the main story is, but one of the characters in the story is telling the story of Aladdin. So it's like there was a framework, and then there's another story, and then the framework comes back, and there's another story. And I find that really interesting that Aladdin wasn't like the main story that was happening.
Yeah.
He was a side story, a side piece, if you will.
Are you saying the main piece was Raja?
Listen, I grew up around tigers.
Because it's cattails.
Maybe not say that. I don't want to dox where I lived.
You're fine.
And I always thought they were like cute, cuddly creatures. As an adult, like learning actually about tigers, they are terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
They are like actually terrifying.
Yeah.
And so the fact that the Sultan is like, oh, look, I could give this pretty kitty to my daughter.
I find it interesting that there's this trope about like Middle Easterners possessing dangerous animals. Like you see like snake charming or like owning a tiger.
I want
You know, like I don't know. It feels like that's a weird trope, and I see like a lot of different things about like when you have like a Middle Eastern royalty like depicted or like really fancy area, it always has like dangerous exotic animals associated.
I wonder if it's like I have like two thoughts on this matter. One is maybe it's like just like the area.
Mm-hmm.
You know? I know I say like a lot. I'm trying to stop it. Sorry, side tangent. The animals that we have in the area often become like what humans decide to end up domesticating. That's why wolves became domesticated, was because they were around, right? So I'm wondering if people like back in the days before like we became as global as we are, like some person found a tiger cub and was curious, decided I'm going to raise it. And it became like a fad of people being like, that is the coolest thing ever.
That would be cool if you had like raised a tiger from a cub and it like respects you and like protects you type deal. Like you will never get hurt.
I wonder if there's also like a spirituality to it, that the tiger is such a like a fierce predator. And like snakes that are venomous are pretty scary, but to have the trust of a wild creature, and I don't know a lot about like the Middle East. So please educate me in the comments. But I wonder if there is like a deity like drawn to them.
I mean, Middle Eastern, like the predominant like religion is like Islam. And so you have the God of Allah, which is another Abrahamic religion,
Mm-hmm.
which is really interesting because it follows, because like you know how like Abraham had like I think her name was Sarah in the
Mm-hmm.
Bible, and how like Sarah was like, oh yeah, you can like sleep with this like this other woman
Yes,
and
yes.
stuff, so you can actually have a kid.
Yeah.
Islam follows that trail,
Huh. Huh, interesting.
to my understanding at least. But like I do appreciate on that topic though, like I pointed this out to you while we were watching about like how much they like rather than saying like oh my god or anything like that, they like made it Allah or whatever because that's like the Islamic god. And I just there was so many times like Allahism I want to say where it was right that was referenced. And I thought that like, that was just a nice like gesture of like you paid attention to the details.
Just like how in Wicked, the Ozisms.
Yep.
I love it when movies do that, personally, and they stick to it.
Mm-hmm.
Because to have it done once, twice is a joke.
Mm-hmm.
To have it be done consistently makes it a part of the culture of the movie.
And it shows like it's purposeful too. Like you're intentionally trying to make sure that those things are included because it is representative of the culture and everything. Going back to like the music though, I don't know, like aside from like a Arabian Nights, Friend Like Me
One Jump.
is One Jump is like a very funny song, but Friend Like Me is just such a bop.
It is a bop.
And I remember when I was in high school, I think it was my freshman year, we did what was like an all district band concert. So we had my high school, our rival high school, and then all of the middle school bands together for one concert. And each band director got to pick a song to be part of like the concert like list. And one of the middle school band directors picked the Aladdin. It's such a musical theater song.
It is such a musical theater song.
And I think it's like the best characteristic of like I think the 90s were best characterized as like the Disney music, like Broadway musicals, because like all of their musical numbers were very Broadway-esque. But I think Friend Like Me was the most Broadway-esque musical theater song you could have.
I'm just realized I'm slowly becoming one with Mickey Mouse on the set design. Sorry. And it doesn't help that this wonderful sweatshirt is blending me into the couch.
Yep.
Sorry. I'm going to bring up my favorite composer right now.
Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Lin-Manuel Miranda. I swear it has something to do with what you're saying.
Okay.
You're talking about how the 90s was very Broadway musical-esque.
Yes, classic Broadway musical.
Classic Broadway musical-esque. And then when Encanto came out, what was the most popular song from Encanto?
We Don't Talk About Bruno.
Which is
It is a musical.
It's like a big Broadway musical number.
Is it?
Yes. And I can tell you why.
Why?
Most Disney songs, if you really, really think about it, besides like a few like Belle and One Jump, where it's like introducing the world building, is very duet and solo project songs or solo songs. So think of Little Mermaid, where the main song you think from that movie is Part of Your World.
Under the Sea.
Or Under the Sea, which is world building or solo. I feel like Under the Sea is setting up why.
I don't think so, because it's different than Belle or One Jump. I wouldn't even say One Jump, because Arabian Nights sets that up.
I guess for me, it sets up how the world views Aladdin.
Yeah.
So character building, I guess. I feel like what makes We Don't Talk About Bruno so differently is the main point I'm trying to make is usually we don't have a bunch of people singing the song, and we don't transition between that like you do in a musical. For example, in another musical that Hamilton wrote, Alexander Hamilton, the song from Hamilton, you hear how everyone in the cast feels about the main character. That doesn't usually happen in Disney movies. And the fact that that came into Encanto made everyone fall back in love with Broadwayisms.
I see where you're getting at. I just don't think it quite fits, because with Friend Like Me, it is very much a vaudeville, very show-tuney, showy. Like, think about by the end of the song, how like we have all the different like pieces. Like, it's a whole big production. And like with We Don't Talk About Bruno, it's not. It's people talking at the main character, and it's not showy. It's missing the actual showmanship of what I would think of like in a Broadway musical. Because you brought up two examples, both written by Lin-Manuel Miranda. I would call them more of a Lin-ism than a Broadwayism.
Lin-ism.
Because there is more showmanship with Friend Like Me. It is big, it is grand. Like, even if you were to pick, like, you could literally take that last bit where he's like going, like me. You could see that on a Broadway stage.
Yes.
Very much so. Can you actually imagine We Don't Talk About Bruno on a Broadway stage in that same manner? Compared, when you think of big showstoppers, like from the era, Broadway has shifted a little bit, like a fair amount, I would say, compared to like what it was in like the 90s.
I mean, they pulled off, in my head, I'm like, well, my favorite song from Legally Blonde the musical is the opening number, Oh My God.
Yep.
And I can see a way that they can pull off We Don't Talk About Bruno. The same way they pulled out the entire sorority house singing about Elwoods. But I see what you're saying.
Like, it's a very different type of Broadway performance as like more traditional Broadway.
I think that the great thing about the 90s Disney is they had a love for charismatic characters.
Yes.
So Genie is like the charismatic person.
Yes, and Robin Williams did such an amazing job.
Rest in peace.
Anyways.
I'm thinking about other Disney movies. Help me, my brain.
With charismatic characters?
Yes.
Mufasa.
Mufasa.
I was gonna say Timon and Pumbaa.
I mean, yes, but like, I feel like there's two sides of charisma. There is like the loud, boisterous. That's what I think of Timon and Pumbaa as, like the comedy duo. Comedy, everyone laughs at my jokes, so you feel at ease with me. And then there's like the charismatic leader types, which is Mufasa.
Yeah.
Where it's like, when you walk into my presence, you feel calm, you feel at ease, and you feel like when you like come into this space, like you are safe.
Disney definitely had a lot of fun with like the comedic types of characters, considering you have Genie being like the biggest one, I feel like, from the 90s. But then you also had Timon and Pumbaa. You did have Mushu and stuff. Blanking all of a sudden, but like, you know what I mean.
Yes.
You had Lumiere and Cogsworth.
Lumiere and Cogsworth. What's the one from Little Mermaid? I'm trying to think.
Sebastian. Or
Ooh,
Fettle.
I think it depends on who you ask. I think it also depends on what age you are. I think.
That is true.
Because as a kid, I thought Flounder was hilarious.
I still find Flounder hilarious.
As an adult, I feel bad for Flounder. I'm like, why? Ariel knows he doesn't like this. Why is she dragging him around? As an adult, I laugh at just the craziness of Triton having Sebastian follow around Ariel.
Yeah. In regards to Aladdin.
Aladdin.
No. Never hate it. Aladdin, I feel like, going back to what I was saying earlier about why it bothers me that Jasmine gets the show over Aladdin. Aladdin is like the best role model a little boy could have, because he echoes that like teen guy experience so hard, because he's the nice guy. And anyone who's been the nice guy, like me, knows dating life sucks.
Hear me out. Is it because most other Disney princesses could be replaced by Woodpecker and the story would be the same?
No. And the joke is a plank of wood.
I know, I thought it'd be more funny if it was a woodpecker.
No, because it's really only two princesses that fit that category. And that's the first two. Prince Charming and Prince whatever his name is. Never been fully committed. That's just from a side source, fun fact.
Well, I'm going to call him Prince Florian and Prince Charming from
Cinderella. Yeah, because Prince Philip has a lot of personality. Eric has a lot of personality. Aladdin definitely has a lot of personality. Beast, duh.
But hear me out.
Flynn, duh. Naveen, duh.
Okay, hear me out. It's also, besides we're going to go Princess and the Frog for my own reasoning, we don't see the movies from their perspective. Aladdin is done through Aladdin's perspective only. Let's say The Little Mermaid was told from Eric's point of view. Do you think Eric or Philip would have been a better role model?
Between Eric and Philip?
Aladdin, I guess, from the way that Disney framed it, is one of the only princes who gets to tell his own story. Besides Rapunzel and Naveen, where like Naveen and Tiana are going through the same exact thing at the same exact time, for the most part, with like little bits taken away.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering if either or any of the princes, sorry, I'm so used to talking about the princesses, if any of the princes were told their story from just their point of view, if they would have been an equally good role model, if not better.
Definitely not Beast. Beast is a jar of red flags, fun fact, up until about like the last 20 minutes. I want to say Prince Philip has potential, considering like you can see the amount of respect he had for Aurora, because he was always very much like even their first meeting, he goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to like startle you. I just heard your singing." Like, sorry, that's like an actually casual reaction.
Yeah.
And stuff, and casual interaction. So I feel like Philip has a lot of potential to like have been like a really good role model, especially considering like he was like progressive in the sense of like, I'm not gonna follow the arranged marriage type deal. Like, it was nice to see that from like a male perspective in Sleeping Beauty, not the typical female perspective. For Eric, I would say definitely like a good like runner-up of like, I don't know, it's hard because he stays on the hook for a woman who, as far as he's concerned, exists. Everyone else does not exist. So it gets a little questionable on that front, because it almost as if is like that person out, like that idea of like, I'll wait for you, which is cringy and honestly not great.
From a storytelling perspective.
What do you mean?
For Eric specifically, it's very iffy. Because he's like, this woman saved me. Okay, what color is her hair? I heard her voice that one time.
Okay, that's not as bad as Prince Charming, though.
I mean, listen.
And granted, like I told you yesterday, it is bad how the guards of Agrabah could not recognize Jasmine
with her hood on.
With a hood on, considering they lived in the palace with Jasmine.
Or at least they were at the palace when Jasmine was there.
Many, many, many times. And she took down her hood and only then recognized her. At least Prince Charming and Cinderella only saw her the one time in his life. Eric is touchy.
In most situations, I feel like today, where we're not Prince Eric, and if I was like, hey, I'm waiting for this person to get out of the military to marry them, people would be like, oh, I respect that. I'm waiting for that person to finish grad school. I respect that. For Eric, who's like this one lady who I heard sing one time, who I'm pretty sure saved me, who he could have been in like a coma. He could have.
Well, not to mention there could be a potential red flag with that, considering like, did he love Ariel for Ariel, or did he love Ariel because she saved him? Which is another question.
But for Eric specifically, like that one's an iffy.
Yeah,
I do like live action Eric more though.
I can see that. Yeah. And then Flynn and Naveen. Naveen is fine. We don't get to see a lot of his like outside of frog growth. Like as a frog, like he goes through like some grief of like not being human again or whatever, and those kinds of things like can change a person. But like when you put him back out of being a frog and he's back to fully being a prince and things like that, is like, how much has he actually changed?
You know what kind of reminds me of?
Because he then has access to everything he once had before, even though there was like no money in Maldonia. But
it's kind of like when you're going to therapy and you just had a really like bad year, right? Where things keep coming one after another. So you're just trying to float. You haven't even gotten to the childhood trauma yet. You're still just figuring out.
Yeah.
That's basically what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we never got to see a lot more of his growth outside of being a frog. And with Flynn is great for like learning how to care for someone and being vulnerable. But Aladdin just echoes so much of like wanting to be something more than what he's being looked at. Because guys, especially, are being often pushed to like, they get pushed to be something great. You're supposed to be providers. We're supposed to like be leading the charge, be the head of the household. All those different like leader type roles were constantly being pushed to. Like there was this one phrase I heard my dad all the time saying, like, I expect you to surpass me. And so like if that trend were to keep going, it's like, okay, how do you keep surpassing who came before you? And then you also have like the relationship aspect of like, when you actually are a genuinely good guy and who treats a woman right, and then you end up being friends with her and you end up having a crush on her, and she's like, I wish I had a boyfriend like you who actually treats me right. And you're like, hello, I'm right here.
And it turns out she's a lesbian.
But like, that's the thing I like so much about Aladdin. And it really is not fair that Jasmine takes it all away from him as a character.
But Sean, she's hot and she has a tiger.
Okay, I've had a stuffed tiger in the past. I can wear a shirt that shows off my belly button. Like, damn. Like, we have a bunch of other princesses and stuff to be role models, like, but we don't ever try to push anything for a guy. And it bothers me.
Okay. Hear me out. I know I already brought up Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Here we go again.
But we're going to bring up someone else I love and adore.
Which one?
Matthew Patrick, the one and only.
Matt Pat.
Yes, you're probably thinking, oh, Megan, what theory are you bringing?
Which channel, more like?
Film theory.
Okay.
And before you guys get down and out about film theory, I'm not bringing in any actual theories that Matt has ever made on these. It was one of his last theories. I hope retirement's well, Matt, where he was talking about different TV shows and TV role models for his son. And how, like, what was Matt talking about? It's been a while since I watched this theory, because now that I have a child of my own, I get really emotional when I watch episodes like those. He was talking about when he wants to introduce media to his kid, what type of role models does he want them to see? So we've been talking about princesses, right? And like how Merida from Brave is so brave to have tried to change her fate. We've talked about Ariel's curiosity. We've talked about Cinderella being fabulous. We've talked about Snow White's questionable decisions of eating an apple from a stranger. But she lived. We've talked about all these princesses and their they're good things. But
Yep.
you're right, the princes get pushed to the wayside. It wasn't something I thought about until having a son of my own, where it's like, right now, our kid probably won't remember anything. We mostly put on TV we want to watch, and the child plays while it's on.
Yep, it's so true.
Yep, that's pretty much what's happening. But when we start having conversations about what it's like to be a good person and what people do we look up to in media, because we all looked up to like superheroes or princesses or someone, who do I direct our child to learn from as a male guide, if you will? And the question is, would we direct him to Aladdin? And there's a lot of parts of me that's like, no, he's a thief.
I 100% would direct him to Aladdin.
Why?
He may be a thief, but it's a point of like showing the complexity, because he is a thief, but it's not out of greed. He's a thief out of necessity.
Yeah, to eat, literally.
Literally to get to clothe, like those types of things, like where it's like he's thieving for his basic needs. And that's a very different perspective. And even when he does that, he doesn't get compromised, because he's like, when he gave the bread to the kids, like he understood those kids need it more than I do. I can always get something else, but they need someone to help take care of them.
I hear what you're saying, but I'm going to counter argue that.
Okay. Try me. I'm a really good debater.
I know, this is the problem. So I have been watching a series of videos about this game series called Life is Strange. And I won't get too much into it, but in one of the many games follows a story about two brothers, right? And for various reasons, they are on the run. And so usually there's like a mechanic in the game where it's like the butterfly effect, right? You choose your own courses and like the decisions will lead to other decisions down the road. And so for this specific one, you're an older brother and you're teaching your younger brother morality. And so at the end of the game, there are four main like endings. And so you have high morality, low morality, and then where you go from there. And then there's like two separate ways they can go.
Yeah.
Like at the border of like Mexico, I think. But a question that's early on in the game is you're going past a car. The car is like empty, as in there's no humans. But there is food. They are hungry. Do you steal the food?
I see what you're saying.
And in the game, if you steal the food, that is considered a bad moral choice.
Yes.
And so I think of that, and Disney is a little different, as we've talked about, because in Disney's Aladdin, he's not going to get poisoned.
Yep.
In Disney's Aladdin, he's going to be okay.
Yep.
In real life situations, we don't know if that food is expired. We don't know if, like, that food is compromised.
Pushback question for you.
Yes.
Would you rather have a role model that does everything right, or a role model that actually has consequences for actions and learns from them and rises above them?
Depends on the kid.
In the instance of Aladdin, because Aladdin makes a handful of mistakes, lying to Jasmine, hiding who he is,
Lying to Jasmine again.
lying to a lot of people many times, but he ends up learning and understanding he needs to tell Jasmine and things like that, which I think is the other piece of like why he would be worth showing to a kid, especially like as they're growing up and they're trying to understand like sequences of events, and you can show them this is what happened when he lied. This is why lying is bad, as an example, especially when they're developing that like cause and effect, like understanding.
Social emotional cause and effect, specifically.
I'm using your lingo against you.
Man.
But,
Someone
yeah.
who speaks my language.
But no, like, aside from Aladdin, no, Disney really does, classic Disney does not like men.
Which I think is so funny because it was, I don't want to say ruled, but it was made by a guy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
But like, even down to their merch, like, if you're looking for classic Disney stuff as a guy, you're limited to two things primarily.
Star Wars.
No.
Marvel.
Classic Disney wise.
Mickey Mouse.
Mickey Mouse and Grumpy.
Sometimes Donald.
Sometimes Donald.
Sometimes
But that's
Goofy.
pretty much it. You don't get anything with the princes. Nothing with the princesses, because if it has a princess, it makes it a girl, apparently. That's my own saltiness. But otherwise, Disney merch for men is Star Wars or Marvel related. Maybe Pixar if there's Toy Story involved. And that bothers me a ton, that the core of the company does not cater to men.
And it doesn't cater to boys either.
No. Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique has pretty much every princess is available, but for the guy, if a little boy wants to go to do the prince, they get one package. And it's their pick of Naveen or a generic prince costume.
To be fair, I don't want little boys running around to be Aladdin. Not that I'm...
Okay, yes, we know your issue with his vest.
I mean...
But even there's like outfits that Aladdin has that are fully clothed.
Yes. And okay, I'm bashing his like streetwear outfit is what I'm going to call it, his rags. But hear me out. When you go to look at Bippity Boppity Boutique, you see the outfits that, minus Naveen, because he's tricky with his frog form, that they're most known for, right? You go, even though Cinderella's in her like maid uniform the most of the time, you get to be in the pretty blue ball gown. Even though Ariel's like in whatever, she's in a ball gown.
Yep.
You don't see her with a fishtail, even though that's what she is in most of the time.
That you kind of can't give kids a fishtail if you're gonna walk around Disneyland.
What I'm saying is, most of the princesses have their most iconic. Like Belle's has the yellow dress. Aurora's has the pink one, even though it's mostly blue for the entire movie. It's what they're iconically known for, what they're advertised as. Most of the princes, I can't think of an outfit to them.
I can, because they only get one. That's the thing. They only get one outfit. Aladdin's the only one with a magical girl transformation, and it gets taken away from him because of Jasmine.
Can we talk about that one outfit that Jasmine gets forced into?
Okay, the whole Jafar sequence when he actually comes into power is creepy and terrifying.
No, excuse me, I totally burped into the mic.
Like,
sorry.
when we were watching and we heard, I never caught this line, and I don't think Megan did either. Jafar looked at Jasmine and called her a pussycat, and I wanted to, like...
I almost gagged.
I needed to take a bath.
I needed some brain bleach for that, thanks.
And like
their beard is so twisted.
And then like Jasmine being like actually kissing him, like oh my god.
I wanted to scream. I wanted to cry.
I would have been, if I was Aladdin, I would have been a lot more pissed and probably would have killed the guy much quicker.
Oh my god. It felt gross. It felt gross. But I'm gonna say that Jasmine has some of the best outfits of any of the Disney princesses. And maybe it's just because she's wearing pants.
You're not... Is there another princess that wears pants? Mulan wears pants.
Because she's pretending to be a male.
Doesn't refute my argument.
She's pretending to be a guy.
She's wearing pants.
Listen. I love a good dress. You don't see me wearing dresses a lot on the podcast, and it's mostly because we record this after I get home from work.
And it's winter.
But as someone who loves a good dress, I can also tell you that it's not always fun running around in dresses. Like, we wear pants more now these days because it's a lot more efficient.
Pockets.
And some of them have pockets. Now, the dress meme where it's, I love this dress. Look, it has pockets. And the pockets are like big enough to fit a book. Those are fantastic. And I will always love those dresses. But I'm just saying, Jasmine probably has the best wardrobe because she always has pants. Even in her wedding thing, she's wearing pants.
That is true. She's never not wearing pants, which I guess is a good thing for a G-rated movie. But
I'm just saying, fight me in the comments below.
Fight me. You're not laughing at my joke.
Well, friends, we're going to wrap up this video before I punch on. Have a good night.
Bye, friends. Make sure you come back next week to listen to us talk about the live-action Aladdin.
Like and subscribe, please, and thank you. Bye-bye.